My dad is a big, no-nonsense man who's seen more than most. He's worked the night shift at Maple Grove Memorial, our city crematory, for 7 years. The first month on the job, he'd come home with red eyes and a bottle, talking about parents who couldn't stand up, about hands that wouldn't fold, about the dead weight of a child's coffin. Over time, he did what people do. He adapted. He stopped looking through the sight glass unless procedure forced him to. He learned to make everything a checklist. Push button, watch gauges, keep the burner steady, go home. That's why, when he came through my apartment door at 3:08 a.m., I didn't recognize him. He was gray as printer paper, hands shaking, trying to kick off his boots. He said, "It's fine," and went straight for the kitchen. When my mom padded out of the spare room, she'd been staying with me while her knee healed, she asked why he was late. He didn't answer. He poured vodka into one of my coffee mugs and drank it like water. My mom and I looked at each other. If he drank after a shift these days, it meant there'd been a problem. Not a printer jam problem, the other kind. "I don't even know what to call it," he said finally. "We had a rush job." He told us about a woman who'd come in at noon, already on the schedule, papers in order, voice like a held breath. Her daughter, 22, pretty in the DMV photo, the kind of face you don't expect to see on a death certificate, was set for cremation as soon as possible. The mother kept pushing the timeline. "Are we done yet? Can we skip the viewing? Can you just do it?" She offered cash like it would speed up the gas flow. Dad told her what he tells everyone. The retort isn't a vending machine. There are checks. There's the state. There's the waiting period. He's a machinist, not management. By early evening, the director signed off. The body arrived in a cheap pine box, lid nailed down like a crate. He's required to verify identity, so he pried it open. He says the smell hit first. Decomp is part of the job, but the timing was wrong. The death was marked as yesterday. The modeling on the abdomen and legs said otherwise. He closed the lid, stapled the sheet back, and did what the paperwork said to do. He and Hank Iverson, everyone calls him Ivy, rolled the box to retort B. They preheated to 1,650 degrees Fahrenheit. Secondary burner on, afterburner steady, stack temp normal, then something you don't want in a crematory, the flame cut. Main burner went quiet, like the gas had been pinched by a hand. Alarms, automatic shutoff. They reset, watched the pressure stabilize, tried again. Same thing. Dad told Ivy it was probably the valve train sticking, or a bad sensor, or carbon fouling. Machines fail. That's what machines do. They pulled the coffin back, ran a dry cycle. Burners worked fine. Flame blew, whispering like it should. No alarms. So they fed the coffin again. Dad leaned into the sight glass out of habit, and because the job says he has to. The box flared up, skin already sloughing from heat, and he caught the flick of a hand across the belly area. He told himself it was the way ligaments pull when tendons cook. Cadaveric movement. He knows the textbook words. He kept them between himself and panic. The flame cut again, red light on the panel, smoke rolled. He looked up to call over to Ivy, and when he looked back into the port, the face was there, pressed to the glass like someone had leaned in to see him better, skin black and smooth as a burn, features erased. No eyes, no mouth. Just the seam of a split running down the center like the kiln had opened the skull and stitched something dark inside. He took a picture. He says he didn't think. His hands just did it. The sight glass went white with heat bloom and, he swears, something smacked the door from the inside. Once, twice. hard enough to ring the steel. "Turn it on," Ivy said, but like he'd forgotten how to use words. Dad stood still. Ivy hit the start. The burners roared back and something screamed. My dad doesn't use that word. He said the noise was a freight train and a lot of people all at once. That was the closest he'd go to it. The sight glass cracked into a spider web. They ran. The front door was chained. Night security policy after a break-in last winter. The back door needed a key. Ivy was already panting, his breath running ahead of him. They ducked into the supply closet and piled carts and plastic urn boxes against the door. Whatever had been behind the retort door moved through the hall. Slow shoes, a drag between steps. It paused at the closet. Dad said it didn't try the door. It didn't even tap. It just stood there, and the light under the door went dark, like something big was between them and the hallway fluorescence. They waited until the light came back, pushed out, and made for a window by the vending machines. Ivy went first, got his leg hung up, fell and twisted his ankle on the asphalt. Dad hauled him up, and they limped across the employee lot to the fence, then to the road, where an empty city bus came by like a miracle. He says he didn't tell the driver. What was he going to say? We left the oven on and something got out. By the time he finished, his hands had stopped shaking. I asked for the photo. He unlocked his old phone, found it, turned it toward me. I know what a doctored image looks like. This wasn't artistry. It was a hard reflection of a bad moment. The steel mouth of the retort, the lattice of a crack across the glass, a warped black shape crowding the port. My dad's face, faint in the corner, phone up, eyes too wide. Could be pareidolia, I said, because I needed a word that wasn't demon. He shrugged. My mom didn't say anything. She made the sign of the cross out of habit, and then looked like she wished she hadn't. We tried to sleep. I didn't, much. Around dawn, the apartment started to smell like hot plastic. I thought the toaster had shorted. When I opened my bedroom door, the hallway was full of smoke, the kind that makes your teeth ache. Flames were already under the master door. I yanked it open and felt a heat punch that knocked me into the wall. I don't remember dialing 911. I don't remember getting outside. I remember the fire captain's voice saying, "Electrical," while he looked at the breaker box and didn't meet my eyes. My mother was gone. No phone, no purse, no time for last words. We buried her 2 days later, in a plot that looks at the tree line behind Maple Grove. My dad didn't come to the funeral. He didn't come home either. The police said grief, and maybe he needs space. I filed a missing person report. His boss said they were reviewing cameras. He didn't say what they saw.